Hi guys, welcome back to LPB Racing for the BTCC support race series on Project Cars 2. This is round 3, race 4 in the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup cars. Let's take you through the grid then. So it is Johnny McMullen who is on pole position there in the white car with Neil Farmack alongside him. Stevie third on the grid with Blakeney alongside. That could get entertaining. NRP then in 5th with Bidzster in 6th. Then in 7th it's Video. 8th is George. And then it's Keith in 9th. And Bradders rounds off the 10. So that's your starting grid, guys. So let's get ready for the race then. Here we go. And we're away. And NRP gets a lightning start from the third row. Brilliant start from him, but he doesn't have anywhere to go because Stevie's right behind him. As all the rest pile into Old Hall. It is Johnny McMullen from Neil Farmack, Stevie, NRP, Blake, Bidzster, Video. That's the order so far. As over the curb goes Stevie there into Cascades. NRP looking up the inside of him. Oh, a nice little cheeky move there from NRP, but gets a load of curb on the way out and loses speed. That could make him vulnerable to Blakeney and Bidzster, who are closing up in the yellow and orange car. Into the Island hairpin then. Bidzster goes past NRP and then straight up the inside of Blakeney as well out the corner. Stevie goes wide and makes a mistake. Keeps off in the background. He's lost control of the car in the background. I don't think he was hit. I think that was a genuine mistake as we go down to Knickerbrook chicane. Bidzster trying to outbrake Blakeney on the inside, can't quite do it. NRP goes back down to 6th place then. Really good opening lap here so far at Oulton Park. Meanwhile, George back there in 9th place, he's been in the wars, and then obviously Keith further back as well, so they were all close to each other as Blakeney with Bidzster right behind him, pressurising him all the way through Druids. We go. Bidzster then going for the cutback. Let's see if we can get a run down the hill as Markabo goes flying there. We've got NRP off. Is it NRP? No, it's Video off the road in the background. Video goes off the road in the background as we lose the leaders there. And Bidzster and Blakeney swap positions then as Bidzster gets a good cut back out the corner and takes Blake up the hill. Good move by Bidzster there. And meanwhile, Video goes back down to the likes of Keith and George here. Can't see yet, but we'll see in a minute as he comes out the corner. There we go. So Video loses it at Druids, so we'll get a replay on that first lap action for you now. Okay, here's a replay of the start. Let's see what happened to George. So we go into Old Hall. He's on the curb there, then gets a twitch on the power and then goes right off and spins in front of the pit lane entrance, and that's how George ended up at the back. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Keith then. So goes into the Island hairpin and goes, look on the way out at the back. There he goes. He spins off, he catches the grass, then goes right around onto the chicane of the international circuit and then gets back going again. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Video then. It was at Druids. Into the corner we go, and the rear end just comes round. He can't correct it in time, and into the guardrail he goes there. Spin, spin, spin. Round he goes, and then turns the car round, and then just takes the car round as George comes back on the track. But to be fair to him there, he was a bit blinded, and that's how he ended up back there. As we come back from that then, Bidzster up to 4th place then in front of Blakeney, and he's now chasing down Stevie. Johnny McMullen with a 1 second gap over Neil, and Neil with a 1 second gap over Stevie, so all a bit more, they are quite close, but they've all got their own reasonable gaps as Bidzster slides into the Island hairpin, just about holds on to it. Stevie gets right behind Neil, so Neil obviously made a little mistake there. She's gone down to 1.3 from Johnny into the hands of Stevie. Only about 2 or 3 tenths of a second separating them. Into the chicane we go. Neil goes up on the curb. Stevie trying to follow behind. Bidzster's now catching up to these two as well. Bidzster on a charge here in the GT4 Ginetta. Really throwing the car round. Confidence is key in this car, and that's what Bidzster's got. He's got his lights on, flashing his lights behind Stevie, saying, "Hello, it's me. Don't forget me, Stevie." As we go out of Druids, Neil makes a little mistake here. Down the hill we go, watching Stevie there. And down the hill, Bidzster swapping sides to the outside. On the brakes. And he's trying to go around the outside of Stevie here and carries the speed around the outside. He's done it. He's got him around the outside. Perfect move here. And Neil Farmack slow up the hill. He might even be able to get 2 cars within 2 corners here. Bidzster goes to the inside for Old Hall, and he gets the position done. Incredible bit of driving there by Bidzster. That is what you call sensing the opportunity and going for it. Brilliant racecraft there by Bidzster. That's how you do it. Neil Farmack down to 3rd place, and Stevie will be spitting feathers in 4th as Neil Farmack decides, I want to take out that marker board, I don't like it. Then Stevie goes alongside Neil down towards Island hairpin we go. Neil on the inside in the green car. Stevie just about, whoa, I think he had a bit of a squirm under brakes there. Stevie lost control of himself. Blakeney had nowhere to go there but hit him. And Stevie's off, and he's got NRP trying to get past him now. There's NRP in the red car trying to pass him, but can't get close enough. So Stevie makes his own little mistake there then and goes back down to 5th place. He's behind Blakeney now into the chicane. Blakeney goes very deep into the chicane. He's going to lose speed on the way out. He's gone really, really fast into the chicane. How he held that, I do not know. But what a hold there from Blakeney. And meanwhile, further back, we've got Keith and Bradders close together. Oh, they've gone off. Keith and Bradders have gone off at the back, so they're at the back now. So Bradders and Keith not having a good race here, and they continue round at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Stevie and Blake then, they are together. Bidzster's left these guys for dust. He's after Johnny McMullen in the lead, and Bidzster with setting the pace. Then we'll see what the lap time is this time round. Remember, he did overtake Neil as well. Blakeney goes off, and he hits NRP on the way back on. But on the way back on, Blakeney and NRP took contact. Blakeney made his own mistake there, and NRP with nowhere to go. And Blakeney then goes off, and NRP sportingly gives the place back, even though he doesn't actually need to. He probably felt like it was his fault, but that was not your fault, NRP. We'll get a quick replay on that to prove it. Okay, here's a replay of the NRP. Blakeney incident on board with NRP then, so watch Blakeney in the yellow car, gets a slide on into the corner, slide, then corrects, and on the grass gets the power on, slides it across the track, hits NRP. It wasn't NRP's fault at all. NRP could have kept going there, but he felt as though it was him in the wrong, and he let Blakeney go through. As we come back from that, it is Johnny McMullen in the lead. Bidzster 1.5 seconds behind him, a 1:26.9 for Bidzster last time round. That's including an overtake at the first corner, so Bidzster definitely on the move here. Really, really loving this car. Blakeney and NRP side by side down towards Island Hairpin. Both cars looking a bit worse for wear, and NRP outbrakes Blakeney right round the outside. And Blakeney then goes back down to 6th place, but NRP gets on the power a bit early, squirms the car up the hill. Blake is now looking for an advantage. He's got an overrun. Let's see if he can get up the inside into the chicane. Into Knickerbrook. Blakeney, the last of the late breakers, into the corner, and nice move there on NRP. Good move there by Blakeney. It moves him up into 5th place. Now let's see if we can hold off the counter attack from NRP a bit later on. But oh, Bidzster's in front of Johnny. He's passed him already. So Johnny must have gone off there because Bidzster weren't catching him that fast. But Johnny must have made a mistake there, and back down a second goes Johnny. So replay. Okay, here's a replay of how Johnny McMullen lost the lead of the race then into Island Hairpin, and he goes around there. But then look, he goes all 4 wheels over the white line, and the game gives him a slowdown penalty, so he has to slow down. And then if you look to the outside camera here, Bidzster goes sailing past on the outside and takes the lead of the race. So as we come back from that, then it is Bidzster in the lead from Johnny McMullen now. And then back here we've got Blakeney and NRP having a nice little battle here. We can't see anything again, so we'll just have to wait for the camera to reset itself. And Blake gets a little twitch out the corner. NRP's going to close up here, but I don't think he's going to be close enough into Old Hall. Having said that, he's closed up a little bit now. Not yet. Not quite close enough yet to get through. And into Old Hall we go. And NRP this time get closed up because Blakeney runs a bit wide out the corner. Down towards Cascades then. The little kink here at Cascades. Round the left-hander at Cascades. Down towards the Island Hairpin. And Blake seems to be pulling out a little bit of a gap now. Meanwhile, further back we've got George in 7th place, Video's in 8th. There he is coming through out the first corner. Keith and Bradders coming down towards the first corner. They might be at the back of the grid, but they're still close together. So not a good weekend here for Keith or Bradders. So hopefully better luck next time in the special event. So Bidzster's last lap of 1:25.7. The rest of the field's in the 29s and the 28s. Incredible pace here by Bidzster. Just pulling away hand over fist from Johnny, who has actually been caught now by Neil Farmack. So Neil Farmack then trying to mount a challenge to Johnny here. And Johnny not having the pace in this car that he's had in the previous 3. So Stevie is in 4th place there. And then we've got Blake and NRP still battling out for 5th place. Blake and NRP still close together down towards Lodge. Blake with the advantage of about 7/10 of a second at the moment. Down towards Lodge. Hopping the curbs here. The curbs can be a real friend and an ally, or they can be a real enemy. The curbs here, it depends how you use them. If you use them correctly, you can gain some really good time and get some good lines out the corners. But then again, If you hit them wrong, it will punish you and it will send your car hurtling off into a tyre wall, and then you'll have some orange people running at you trying to help you. So it is a very unforgiving track, but if you drive it properly, it can actually be quite forgiving as well. So it is a bit of a blend of both here at Oulton Park. Up the hill with Neil Farmack we go then. We've got Johnny McMullen ahead, 1 second ahead. That's the gap, just consistently 1 second at the moment. Neil 1:28.1 last time round, but then goes really deep into the Knickerbock chicane, and he's lost a couple of tenths there. That's going to lose him a bit of time. Just ran a bit too deep into the corner, carried a bit too much speed over the curb, and then almost lost the front end. As Blakeney and NRP still with the same rough gap between them as well. Blakeney trying to extend that gap, NRP saying no you don't, sunshine, with lights ablaze behind, just trying to put him off. There's Keith and Video then. Video's gone back down behind Keith now, so Video makes a mistake, and Keith then and Video into the island hairpin there. They might get lapped in this race at Bidzster's pace, but we'll have to see as Keith goes out the island hairpin with Video behind him. So a good little scrap for 8th, 9th and 10th here. Remember, every point in this championship counts. So every point counts in this championship. Points go down to 15th place, even though we haven't got 15 people, but if we had a room full of people, it's only the last person that doesn't score any points keeps it consistent. As Keith and Video accelerate up the hill then. We've got Blake and NRP still with the same gap between them as well. Meanwhile at the front, Bidzster is pulling out a right gap here over everyone else as we go on board with Bidzster here. I love this onboard camera, it's a shame it doesn't stay with it, but into the Knickerbock chicane we go. We might be able to get a little bit of a view here into the chicane. Beautiful lines there from Bidzster through the Knickerbock chicane, and up the hill we go. So a little look back then at the Keith Video battle as Video pulls alongside Keith, who's trying to anyway, down towards the Old Hall right-hander, but he tucks in behind Keith again, clearly not feeling like he's got the overspeed to get alongside, and sensibly ducks out of the move. And that's part of racing sometimes. You've got to sense when to go for it and when not. You can't just willy-nilly just dive up the inside and try and hope the other person just doesn't turn in, because that's not fair. You've got to really try and make sure you've got the overrun to get alongside, and then make sure you're ahead into the corner, and then you can take the place, but or alongside at least. If you're behind the car, it's not really your corner to go into. Meanwhile up front we've got Neil Farmack into 2nd place. Johnny McMullen has gone down to 3rd place there, so a mistake from Johnny McMullen more than likely. We'll get a replay on that for you now. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Johnny McMullen on lap 7 when he lost the 2nd place. He just goes into Lodge, loses the rear end of the car, and then spins round on the middle of the track, then waits for Neil to come past, spins the car round, and then gets going again, and then ends up in 3rd. As we come back from that then, it is Blakeney still in 4th place with NRP behind in 5th, and we've still got a nice battle back here between Keith, Video and Bradders. They're all still really close together, the 3 at the back, providing most of the entertainment in this second half of the race. Up the hill we go. Video closes up on Keith here. Will he have a go into Druids, or will he try and set the move up for Lodge, which is the last corner? Keith feels as though he has to defend a little bit. Video goes a little bit wider there. Keith goes off the track and Video's nowhere to be seen. Video's gone off. Video spins round and then gets going again. There were no contact there. Video just went too wide and just tried to put too much weight on the tyres, and it didn't work, as Keith and Bradders then battle out for 8th and 9th still. Bradders a bit too much on the power there out of the corner, but gets away with it. NRP and Blakeney. NRP closing up on Blakeney a little bit there, so NRP closing the gap a little bit. It was 1.2 to 1.3 seconds, it's now 0.8 of a second, so the gap going down there slowly between NRP and Blake, so we'll see how that develops later on in the race. Meanwhile, Neil is on his own in 2nd place now. Johnny 2.7 seconds behind him, and Bidzster is still in a class of his own at the front. A 1:27 last time, fastest lap a 1:25 something I think it was. So Bidzster really with the pace here. As down towards Cascades we go. You can see the pace, you can see the speed in the car. Round Cascades we go. Beautiful line through there, and he is actually catching the cars to lap. I think he's lapped Video. No, Video's the next car ahead. So Video's there, and he's not far from getting lapped by Bidzster here. And Keith and Bradders are still nose to tail here. Keith and Bradders out of the chicane, and up towards Clay Hill we go. Out the corner, very evenly matched on pace here. So that's going to be a good entertainment to watch as the race develops. Let's have a look back to Bidzster then. He's trying to catch video through the chicane we go. Sliding his way through. Loving this car. Driving on the limit here in the Ginetta. He doesn't really need to drive on the limit, but he's got time, I suppose, even if he does make a mistake to recover. So why not go for the fastest lap or just have fun driving the car quick? As video then comes out of Druids, and he knows he's got Bidzster approaching him here. And there he is in the background. There's Bidzster in the background. Let's have a quick look back to Keith and Bradders. 9/10 of a second is the gap in favour of Keith there in the green car. He's teammates with Neil Farmack in this, the good old boys. And then Bradders is teammates with Johnny McMullen in P1 Motorsport. Johnny McMullen in 3rd place at the moment. Bradders back down in 9th. There's NRP and Blake's. The gap is now at 2.1 seconds. So NRP must have made a mistake somewhere. That gap's gone up from 8/10 to 2.3 seconds. So Blakeney then pulling away from NRP now. As we go back to Keith and Bradders has made a mistake there. He's gone back down to 3 seconds to video now, and 5.5 seconds to Keith. So Bradders makes a mistake there, and video is about to be lapped by. In fact, he has been lapped already by Bidzster. So Bidzster laps video there as Bidzster's on lap 10. Video's on lap 9 as we go up over the hill. Johnny McMullen, meanwhile, is slowly catching up to Neil again. So Neil then could come under pressure from Johnny McMullen in these last couple of laps, as he makes a little mistake out of the hairpin there, but so does Johnny. So the gap's still at roughly around 1.5 seconds there, 1.5 to 2 seconds. So Johnny McMullen trying to close down the gap, but not really doing it as quick as he needs to. He needs to bank on Neil making a mistake, which he almost does there. Very close off the wall there for Neil Farmack, but gets away with it, and up Clear Hill they go. Back to the battle for 4th place. NRP has took a big chunk of time out of Blake there, so Blake must have made a little mistake there on that last lap. But NRP closing back up again now, so it was 2.5 and now it's 1.6, so it is like a rubber band at the minute. It is backwards and forwards between these two. As Bradders goes back down to 10th, he's had a massive spin somewhere, so he's back down to 10th. Video's in 9th there, he's at Old Hall, and Keith is there in 8th place, and he is... Where's Bidzster on the road? Is Bidzster? Yeah, Bidzster's behind. He's just coming out of Cascades now on his last lap of the race then for Bidzster. So Video and Bradders, if they want to have a go at Keith, they're going to get past Bidzster again, but I don't think that's going to happen. As we go down to the hairpin, Bidzster sliding his way around the hairpin, having a bit of fun on this last lap, sliding his way around. Off we go, and Johnny McMullen's only 0.6 of a second behind Neil Farmack now. Last lap battle and drama is about to begin here at Oulton Park. Into the island hairpin we go. Neil gets it sorted out. Little squirm on the way in, but gets a really good run out the corner, and that's what he needs to do. Focus on the exits of the corner so Johnny can't come back at him. We've got Bradders coming up ahead to lap, but he might be able to get through before these two finish. So into the chicane we go. Neil Farmack again going a bit deep into the corner. That must be his line into there. Must feel like he needs to straighten out the car. Doesn't have faith in the rear end. As we go up the hill then with Neil Farmack and Johnny McMullen on the last lap of the race. As Bidzster on to the last corner then is Bidzster, dominating fashion. Once he took the lead, he never looked back. Up over the line goes Bidzster to win the Ginetta GT4 race at Oulton Park. Well done to Bidzster, he wins the race. Congratulations to him. And meanwhile, Neil and Johnny, the camera's going funny here, so we'll have to look from the onboard. And Neil makes a little mistake, and Johnny closes up right on the line. He's going to try and close up. Neil then just takes 2nd place from Johnny in 3rd. Johnny takes 3rd place there. Well done to them two. Good battle wall race between them. Blakeney is going to be in 4th position there. He holds off NRP, who has a late race surge to try and take the gap down. 4th place for Blake, 5th for NRP. And then it's going to be Stevie round here somewhere in 6th. There he goes across the line in 6th place. And then we've got George, who's next up in 7th. He's not quite at the line yet, so we'll just wait and see, because you never know if mistakes happen in motorsport. So there's George. We've got Keith going through in 8th there. Video and Bradders have already finished. They're in 9th and 10th because they've been lapped in this race. So 9th for Video, 10th for Bradders. So just George and Keith to round off this race then. Down towards Lodge Corner we go with George. Well, if he makes it through this safely, then we know Keith's going to be 8th. George goes through the last corner. Up the hill we go. And across the line to take a well-deserved 7th place for George there. Across the line he goes, and Keith will then now officially round off the 8. So we'll just get those results confirmed for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results from the race then. So Bidzster wins the race, well done to Bidzster. Then it is Neil in second place, Johnny McMullen finishes third, then it's fourth for Blake, NRP in fifth, sixth place goes to Stevie, then it's George in seventh, Keith is eighth, ninth is Video, and Bradders rounds off the 10. And now guys, on to the total points. It is Bidzster in the lead on 220 points with Stevie second on 172, 163 for Johnny. Then it's fourth for Neil Farmack on 141, 135 for NRP. Then it's George on 127, Blake 115. Just behind him, Video on 109, 78 points for Keith, 56 for Bradders, 47 for Gummy Bear, Sarex on 43, Will 33, Johnny Adam 18. And in the teams, it is Willpower Racing still at the front on 253, Destruction Derby are on 242, P1 Motorsport, Good Old Boys and Push and Pass Racing all equal on 219 points. So this team's championship and the Drivers' Championship still well up for grabs. As we come back from that then, there is your winner of that race, Bidzster, in that orange and white Ginetta there. Well done to Bidzster, and we will see you guys next time for our special event, which will be a replica of the Porsche Carrera Cup GB across a variety of tracks. So watch out for that next week, guys. That'll be really exciting. So take care, guys. See you next time.